So you want to speak about Invincible first, then?
Invincible. Yeah.
I'm just going to say Amazon Prime series. There's 4 episodes out as of this episode of the podcast, right?
That is correct.
How well do you know Invincible? Have you read any of the comics?
I have not. It's something that I just dived into. I think I saw the trailer advertised on YouTube. I just hopped into it, and I've been really liking it. From the gist that I've been able to grab, it's basically page for page exactly the same as the comic. They haven't
So
changed
far,
a whole bunch.
I'm trying to think of the comic company that made Invincible. I'm really struggling to think of what it was called. It's like, is it Image Comics? Anyway, but yeah, from like watching it now, it does seem to be like page for page, like the stuff that's happening, and the style they've decided to do the animation in as well. Even though I thought it was a bit simplistic when I first started watching the series, I completely get it now because it looks literally like just they've animated the pages of the comics.
Oh yeah, 100. It's the comic company is Image Comics.
It is comics. It is Image. Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, yeah, it's so far so good. It's I don't know how much they're going to follow on with the comic stuff, because I think that it's paced slightly different. Like things happen in the comics later than they do in the series, or vice versa. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so far it's just awesome to see these things like animated, especially because like the comic is like quite graphic. It's good to see that brought over as well. Like it's not just like another superhero series. It's like proper like gory shit happening.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the cast they've managed to get together for it is insane.
I was going to say, I was about to discuss the cast, because before going into the series, I wasn't 100%. I knew obviously we were going to have J.K. Simmons as Omni-Man. Mm-hmm. I knew we were going to have Stephen Yeun as Invincible himself. But yeah, the other cast, I completely came out of nowhere and I didn't have a clue. So we've got Sandra Oh as his mother, Debbie Grayson.
Yeah, Zazie Beetz.
Zazie Beetz as Amber, the girlfriend. We've got Mark Hamill, who was the costume designer guy, Art.
Yeah.
Who else?
Seth Rogen. He plays
Seth Rogen as Alan the Alien, yeah, which I think is really good. Jason Mantzoukas as Exploding Rex. What's he called?
I think
something like that. Yeah,
Rex is fine.
Yeah, we got Walton Goggins as Cecil, or Wally Goggs.
Mm-hmm.
Zachary Quinto as the robot.
I know what casting that is. Zachary Quinto is sick.
Yeah, I know. He's always got like the ominous kind of thing going on. We've got Mahershala Ali as Titan, who I'm not sure we've seen yet, but I
don't think we've seen him yet.
Kevin Michael Richardson, he's the Mauler twins. Obviously, we've got like the Clancy Brown, who plays Damien Darkblood, as well as some other characters. So he's like Lenny James as Darkwing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some really like top of the line voice actors.
I've got to say, man, I thought it was going to be like a super serious show, because that's the way it started out. But man, that Seth Rogen bit where they just sit on the moon and just talk shit out is hilarious.
Yeah, just like talking shit out just in his head, like telepathically. And it's like, I got to come here every 30 years to like make sure your planet is worthy. And then he's like, isn't this like G-Earth? It's like, no, this is Earth. It's like, my boss is going to kill me.
I'm going to get fired.
Sorry about the punching thing. Yeah, I think he's going to be back, because he plays a bigger part in the comics, so I hope he comes back. And with Seth Rogen, there is definitely going to be the fact that he comes back.
Yeah, I like the way that they're pacing the like superhero thing. Like, he's still vastly inexperienced, but like he'll give it a go. I like that whole dynamic.
Yeah, and I'm always a stickler for like somebody with really cool powers like learns how to use it, and like they explain the physics behind like how they fly, and it's like a muscle and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool to see him like learning with us.
When he tries to do his first like rescue, and he like basically cripples an old lady.
Yeah, he's like flying her away from the aliens, and then looks at her, and she's just like in a fucking state.
No.
That's something they changed from the comics, because in the comics, those aliens, I forget what they're called, they literally all looked the same. But for the TV show, they made like the one main one with like the scar in his eye, so he could like identify him every time he came back when he was like older and stuff. That was an interesting premise though, like where the time moves faster for them on Earth and vice versa and stuff. I kind of like that.
they come back like a day later and they're like aged like by years. It's class.
Yeah. What did you think of the end of the first episode as well? When Omni-Man kills all the
That was
the Guardians.
I just love that the show opened up. It was like, hey, look, it's the Justice League, and then the end of that very episode, he was like, yeah, they're all dead, like really brutally dead.
And the way it was like, like especially with like the speed one, Red Rush or whatever he's called, like when he's like punching, like for him, you can imagine because he like moves in so fast, everything's happened for him in slow motion. So like he was having his head like smashed up in slow motion basically, and all his hands were like breaking when he was punching. Fucking gruesome, man.
Oh yeah, and he just takes someone's head off, like just clean off.
Literally just karate chop a head off, yeah. Man, it was good. I'm excited to see if they'll like go along with that in the series, because obviously in the comics, I'm not going to spoil anything for you because I know you're watching it as well, but I'm wondering if they'll follow the comics the same way they are with the series. If so, it'll be interesting.
Cool.
What happens in episode 2 then? That's when he gets his main sort of powers, and that's when he's fighting all the aliens, isn't it? That like age and stuff.
Yeah, 2 is the aliens, and I think that's the one where he goes to space as well with Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah, and he joins the Teen Titans basically as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then episode 3 is where the Teen Titans basically get chosen to be some of them get chosen to be
the new Guardians. Yeah. And we see that Robot's up to a bit of shady stuff. Like he let what's his face escape, the Mauler twin, one of them escape, and he's obviously in episode 4 we see that he's like allowing him to clone himself.
Yeah, I do like that premise. Instead of going for the big reveal of it's the robot all along, they've gone, we'll show you who it is, who the bad guy is, really early, and then you'll get to kind of see how the other characters react when they find out.
Yeah, especially in like the most recent one where like Robot puts his hand on Rex's shoulder, and like you can see he's taking like a blood sample and it goes up into like his wrist.
Oh yeah,
so I would be excited to see what he's up to and whether it'll like stay in line with the comics. But so far, I really enjoy it. It's a really good series. It's like quite funny, but also light-hearted. Especially like when they were on Mars last episode and all those fucking weird bugs. Because that's another thing that's going to be expanded on. Because like one of the astronauts got possessed or whatever.
Yeah, well.
By one of the seconds.
Mimicked, basically, wasn't it? Because the astronaut was still there on Mars.
The astronaut was still there on Mars, and it was mimicked to come back on Earth. Yeah, so it's all good. Like, and I like the Damien Darkblood stuff, where he's like investigating Omni-Man and stuff. And obviously, everybody knows now that Omni-Man killed them. But what do you do in it? He's literally like a Superman level character. You can't arrest him or confront him because he'll kill you just as easily.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's an interesting world where, like, obviously these superheroes exist, and you're just like, well, fuck's sake, what do we do about them? But especially with one as powerful as him.
It's weird that he, like, goes mental and kills everyone at the same time as his son gets powers. Is that something to do with it, or...?
Could very well be. It'd be interesting to see where they go with it in the series, but, I'm excited, because in the comics it expands more into, like, the Viltrumites and that planet where they both came from, so
yeah.
I'm hoping they kind of go into that as well. I think it goes a bit fucking nuts then, but I'm kind of hoping that's where we'll go with the series.
Mm-hmm.
But so far I'm really enjoying it, and I like every episode, like, with he introduces himself, and then, like, it cuts and then goes to, like, the title card, and it gets more and more blood on it every episode as well. That's good.
Oh yeah, it's such an easy watch as well.
It is, yeah. Like it's not too intensive that you have to think about it the whole time. And once you get used to the animation style, it's actually quite nice.
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%.
Yeah. So far you're enjoying it. That's the main takeaway.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.